Hello everyone, my name's Lee. This is the JJ Movie TV show / game reviews. And right now I'm going to be doing something that I never thought I really want to do, but I am going to do it. It's the movie franchise of Twilight. And don't, hey guys, don't hate me, don't take away my guide card or something like that, but I'm going to review it because a lot of people have been asking me, why don't you just do like a Twilight review, because they haven't, a lot of people haven't seen it from guys. And without getting full batch, so I'm not going to try to hate too much on these films, but I'm going to give my overall review of each one and which one's the best and which one's the worst. Now, let's start off with Twilight 1, the first movie. My god, was this awful. I'm serious. I hated this entire movie. This should burn. I'm sorry. Whoever directed this had very bad dialogue. If they followed the work of the book, I believe, Stephanie Meyer, for me, for a reviewer, if I have to read something off, if there's a movie based off books, I would like to read the books first. And even with Twilight, I had to read the books. I did read the books for them. And throughout Twilight, I believe they got some of the casting choices wrong. If you're going to make a believable movie of vampires that don't burn in the sunlight, unless you have some magical ring like in Vampire Diaries or in some way, but if they sparkle, I find it garbage in a way. But I try to let that go. I honestly try. So, overall, I don't hate the entire idea of Twilight vampires. I don't overall hate it, but if you need to back it up in movies with believable actors and believable chemistry, if anything, if that fails, or believable action to convince people to sparkle vampires, or at least make people like them. This one did a terrible job. Kristen Stewart is by far one of the worst actresses I have ever seen. Ron Pattinson, I don't hate him as an actor. I've seen him in a couple other movies he was pretty good at. But the character Edward, who is living with his family, the Cullen family, or another group of vegetarian vampires who live in a place called Forks. A girl named Bella, who basically falls in love with Edward throughout this movie. She basically is the introduction of when she meets them, the family, the different people in the family. Oh, another thing, certain characters that I enjoyed. This one was Alice. She seemed like very much like a kind of like Carlisle looks like a very old school vampire. Alice looks like a interesting vampire character unless they didn't sparkle. So I'm trying to base them off of them not sparkling. But overall, I hated this film because of a lot of terrible acting. They had a decent villain, James, who was an interesting killer who wanted another vampire, basically fed on humans and wanted Bella's blood. And really, there's not really a great love connection whatsoever, really. I did feel like there was a connection between them when there was when they were dancing and this little not the sunlight, but a little party, and they had this little light thing, and when he kissed her on the neck, I thought, you know what, that was believable. That's the only believable thing about the movie. Out of 10, I gave this a 3 out of 10. I hated this movie, burn. Anything lower than a 4 on my list is not even worthy. New Moon. Now, New Moon, they invited a thing of werewolves in this involved, which are the most believable thing in Twilight right now, not the vampires. New Moon, they're actually Native Americans mostly. Basically, Edward leaves Bella because he think it would be easier for her in some way, and so she would survive. But during that time, she goes through depression, nearly jumps herself off a cliff. She goes through so much, through everything, like doing risky stuff. Go around the people that will probably kill her or rape her or anything like that, just to be with the person she loves. And I think it sends a bad message to women everywhere in that sense. Taylor Lautner's an okay actor. Like I said, I don't the main story is focused on Bella, Kristen Stewart, and Kristen Stewart is not a believable actress. They did get better at the special effects in this one. They actually amped up the special effects. Not really a main villain in this. You get to see a little bit more of the vampire government, the Voltaire government. And I like the character Arrow. He's a very old school vampire, very snake-like, very devilish looking. And I kind of like him. Thank God it never showed him sparkle, but I like him as a character, Red Eyes. And I would enjoy him in an old school movie if it didn't sparkle. But out of 10, I give this a 5 out of 10. I don't hate this film, much as Twilight, but it's not that worthy. Now, Eclipse. This had the most action in all Twilight movies, and I actually enjoyed this. I actually gave this a 7 out of 10. Yes, I enjoyed Eclipse. The reason why I don't like, why I don't hate this movie, because you get more of the character backgrounds of certain family members of the Cullens. Rosalie, who was one time raped, who basically hunted down, who is basically like Edward's sister in this one. Rosalie is basically a woman who's out for revenge because her entire family was, well, not her entire family, sorry. She met a young man, they were about to get married, they raped her, she always wanted to be in a wedding dress, so when she was risen as a dead person, and when Carlisle changed her as a vampire, she hunts down all the people who raped her and dressed up in a wedding gown, and she saved the guy that she was with for last, so that was pretty cool. I like the character Jasper a lot in this entire film. He's a former Civil War veteran, trained. He's very hostile, very violent in many ways. He's very obedient, and I like his character a lot, and he's really an interesting character. Action scenes go on and off. I did enjoy some of the fights. I did enjoy the fight scenes in this. Some of the chemistry between Kristen Stewart and Ron Pattinson finally got a little bit better. A stupid though love story about who's she gonna choose, her best friend the werewolf or the vampire Edward who came back at the end of the second movie, New Moon. So I don't hate this film. It has some good wordy moments. Like I said, certain supporting characters are better than the main cast, and that's why I like this film. Other than that, it's still a 7 out of 10 means like 7 means it's okay. 7 out of 10 means like okay to good. This is neither good or okay. It's just like in the middle, just there. Now the next one is Breaking Dawn Part 1. I'm a guy, so I don't really like films like this, and this was more just a love story. Well, not really a love story. If you just want to see a wedding of Bella and Edward just having a wedding, their low emotions. Taylor Lautner's Jacob is going through the drama of, I can't have this, I don't want it, I don't want her to get married. There being a baby involved in this, a human gets pregnant. Not really show a lot of bloody stuff. They could communicate with the baby in a way and how Bella looks, and it's not the greatest, and I gave this a 4 out of 10. This was a very, very, unless you love this connection between all the characters and you dreamt of this moment, then yes, this is probably one of your favorite movies. But for me, I didn't believe the chemistry between none of these actors, and I thought it was flawed a lot. Like I said, the only reason why I like Eclipse because they focus more on the supporting characters that had interesting storylines. These not so much. I wish they focus on Edward's storyline as simultaneously as feeding on people who hurt other people, rapists, murderers, thieves. I like that idea, but just focus on Bella again, it's just terrible. Now, Breaking Dawn Part 2. God help me. Now, I gave this a 4.5 out of 10. Actually, I'm giving New Moon a 6 out of 10, sorry. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. Well, here's the thing. I hate this film. I don't hate this film. Because, again, they focus on some of the supporting characters. I find it ridiculous how they still don't make vampires look like vampires in a way. What really saved this entire movie was the ending. They showed a scene where they looked like some of the characters are actually dying. So I thought, oh, cool, maybe Bella will die. Or Kristen Stewart's character. But no, it was all in basically a dream and in a way, a vision of what could possibly happen in the future. I don't want to really get too involved in this, but basically the Volturi find out that a child is a vampire, so they assume that's one of the rules. They broke it, so they bring their army against the Cullens who have joined with the werewolves and brought other family from all over to fight against them. And it looks like there was a final fight, but no, there wasn't. If you want to see a cool beheading of certain characters that you didn't like, or certain characters that you thought were shocking, I jumped on like, wow, they finally did something. They actually killed off some of the characters. Even though they killed off the characters that I actually enjoy. Carlisle, he looked like an old school vampire. They killed off Jasper, who was a Civil War veteran. They didn't kill off the ones I wanted to go, but then I realized, then it showed that it was just a vision of what could happen in the future. It's all lovey-dovey, sweet at the end, and it's nothing really great. And it says right here, the best Twilight ever. God no. And it says like the world's been waiting for this. I remember seeing this on the TV. The world's been waiting for this epic conclusion of this. No. It's not been. So again, overall, I nearly hate almost every single thing about Twilight. I'm sorry, that's my review as a person, my own opinion. But I probably would have enjoyed the entire series. Well, even with Sparkle and all that stuff, make a believable actors with great chemistry and great love connection. And I'm sorry, Kristen Stewart is the main reason why this entire movie franchise fails. But I wouldn't say, well, most of the entire reason the franchise fails, because a lot of people still hate it just because Vampire Sparkle. I get pissed off somewhat. So yeah, definitely the worst is Twilight, the first one, god awful. Next is Breaking Dawn Part 1. If you're just into a wedding and just see them go through a little drama, teenage bopper drama. So yeah, that's there's been 5, so that's number 4. Number 3 is none other than Breaking Dawn Part 2. Some interesting moments, not really good. Like I said, I gave Twilight, the first one, I gave that a 3 out of 10. Breaking Down Part 1, I gave that a 4 out of 10. Yeah, Breaking Down Part 2, a 5 out of 10. Now, New Moon, I don't okay, I'm going to say again, it's a 6 out of 10, not a 5 out of 10. There are some believable moments with certain character, with the wolves. I like how they did the wolves in this. Thought they did a little bit more interesting in some cases. That special effects got a little bit better. It's a mixture of, I could bear this movie. I could bear with this. If I had to watch one of the Twilight movies and if I had to choose out of those 4, I'll choose this one, hands down. And definitely the best and probably the only good one, in my opinion, is Eclipse. Because they don't focus so much all the time on the three-way love story. They focus on some supporting characters. Jasper was a cool Civil War veteran. If you only didn't Sparkle, I'd love to have him on there. Alice is always great. Rosalie, we find more of her story. And other than that, that was the best one. So yeah, this is the JJ movie TV show / game review. So I hope you all enjoy this. More than me at least. And that's my review of the entire Twilight franchise review. Alright. Let me know what y'all think. This is JJ Movie Review. Sorry if I seem disrespectful to the Twilight fans. But I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of this, but I did a review and I gave my honest one. So there you go. This is the JJ Movie / TV show / game reviews. Let me know what y'all think. Bye bye.